Great to hear from Tomas Pokorny there. Really, really seems like a nice dude. And we're into game number 3 here, Paul. So as you can see, we're quite a bit into it as well. This is not the beginning of game 3. And it looks like Ether Gust on an Uro here in the 4-color mid-range versus Sultai mid-range matchup. Where are we at here, Paul?
Well, it looks like there's a lot of action right now. It looks like there's an Uro being Ether Gusted right now, and taking a look at Nassif's hand. I mean, he's got a pair of Thoughtseizes, and really interesting to see that he still has them in his hand and that he has 2 of them. So curious what sequence of draws led Nassif to having 2 Thoughtseizes in hand. Oh, that was Nassif. Okay.
Yeah, Nassif put Uro on the bottom of the library after Tomas fired off that Ether Gust on it.
Oh, and is this an escaped Uro?
Yikes.
That is a problem.
Not turned out well for Nassif, did it? Now he's facing down Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath on the battlefield. Life total is still high for both players, and that's the first non-land permanent to actually stick, it looks like.
Yeah, and Tomas was not able to hit a land. I'm sure he wants to be able to just continue pumping out lands here with the cards that he gets from the Uro. But currently, I mean, Nassif still is in trouble as he does not have an immediate answer here to the Uro. And it looks like he's actually digging to find a removal spell for it here.
Wow, what a bizarre game.
Oh.
Hey, Narsip Parter of Veils is a big card in this matchup. And with the 1/1 Shark to protect it, that could actually be really good here.
Yeah, that was a nice answer. However, Tomas does have the Mythos of Nethroi in hand. So he doesn't have a white mana source, it looks like. So, but he can still use it to kill the shark token that's in play, then attack the Narset. He will be unable to, however, draw a card off the Uro when it attacks, but it would be a way to get this Narset off the battlefield.
Still trying to figure out how Gabriel Nassif ended up with 2 Thoughtseizes at this point in the game in hand, but I suppose when you do it in the middle, it's a little difficult to figure out.
So what that tells me is that Nassif knew that Pokorny was very likely to escape Uro on that following turn and was actively just finding ways to cycle through his deck to find an answer, which is why you saw him try to cast an Uro there to find an answer instead of running out of Thoughtseize.
By the way, Paul, a few people in chat were asking, Tomas qualified for the event through the Czech League, and they were wondering, what was the story with the Czech League?
Yeah, so I actually had the opportunity to speak with Martin Yuza prior to today, to the broadcast today, and he was telling me that this Czech League was basically something that was put together by one of the larger Czech stores, Black Knight, from the area, and they really wanted to organize a large tournament structure to support the local Czech and Slovakian competitive community. So they kind of created this league which had multiple seasons, and it was a year-long tournament. There were 3 seasons and a grand final event. And basically what this entire tournament series did was filter all these people into this one grand final event where the champion of this league basically qualified for this event. So Tomas went through this entire gauntlet, played for an entire year to eventually earn a qualification into this event. And now he's playing in the top 8 here with an Uro on the battlefield, looking like he's slightly ahead against one of the game's greatest in the top 8.
That's awesome. That is really, really cool. By the way, Nassif's in the chat and filled us in. So the reason why we see those Thoughtseizes was that he didn't want to load up the graveyard to allow Tomas to be able to get back Uro, as at that point he didn't have an answer for Uro. And by the way, that's still true. The Uro's on the battlefield, and it is wreaking havoc here as Gabriel Nassif is getting towards desperation mode. Once you start getting hit a couple of times by an Uro, it usually doesn't let up from that point, and we'll see if Nassif can find some way out here.
Is it time?
No, I would not do it here, Paul. even I would not.
You always ask. Look, Nassif has 1 mana up. Just saying. You know he's thinking about it. There is a pause here.
There was a very large pause here. I feel like, if he hasn't been able to answer your Uro, then making a 5/5 shark or whatever is probably better use.
Probably better.
And
because
if I'm saying that,
yeah, then it's probably correct. The thing is, she's got the growth spiral. I mean, the Nassif deck doesn't have a lot of answers for the card specifically. However, yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards just making the 5/5 here. Nassif, if he had a removal spell, would have killed that Uro already. Even if Nassif draws his own Shark Typhoon, it would only be a 4/4 here, right? So that 5/5 Shark would just be really well sized relative to what Nassif can produce next turn.
he's really thinking about it.
Also, a good way to answer a Narset that potentially finds a removal spell for the Uro. This allows you to make a Shark to kill the Narset as well.
Oh no, chat's on the hardcast train here. They're screaming at Tomas to hardcast the Shark Typhoon. They said it's always time.
The biggest trap card.
All right, so here's the interesting part. Nassif is also screaming that he should be hardcasting it, which might tell you something. Okay, there's Nissa who takes the world off of the growth spiral. Is there enough mana to cast it? Not quite. Oh, not quite. That might be a way to start digging back into this thing, but as it stands, cycle the Triome, and it's an Ether Gust, so it is a way to stem the bleeding, but the question is it just too late at this point for Nassif?
Yeah, and I believe that it is, because Nassif is going to go down to 3 from this attack. Even if you gust the 6/6, now this... Oh, well, never mind.
Was that a Nissa? Okay, go down to 3. How about go down to 0? Wow, these hasty Nissa tokens have been doing good work here.
Right. That could have been a 5/5 flyer, by the way.
and give Nassif a whole extra turn. So there we go. Nissa, and that's going to be a GG from Nassif. And Tomas Pokorny is going to defeat the Hall of Famer and advance. Very impressive there for